Hello friends, today I have 7 new Kickstarter items, 6 games and 1 RPG to tell you about. I'm Aaron, and welcome to Boardscape. First up here, we have the Clash of Deck. Now this is a game that has not met its goal. Only less than 400 backers and 19 days to go. This is a game that screams, stay away from me. Now, I'm not usually one to tell people what to do. I would rather give you the information and let you know who I think a game is for, whether you would enjoy it or not. But this seems terrible. This seems like one of those games that you see in the App Store on your iPhone where you have the main game, Clash of Clans, and then you have 20 rip-off games. And this looks like a rip-off game in every single form of the word. I mean, when we scroll down here, look at this. First of all, if you're going to get a card game, I think they want, what, $30 for this? If you're going to get a card game, there are literally hundreds of better ones out there, better looking, better art, better layouts than this, right? I mean, you can even get Epic now for maybe $20 on Amazon, and that alone is going to give you more than what this game does. Now, I have a couple problems with it, and I really don't want to just slam a game, but I really don't want people to waste their money either. So one of these problems is going to be that the art just isn't necessarily up to par, and every single card comes with symbols, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with symbols, except when you have so many of them that you have to memorize and no way to at a quick glance know what they do. You're going to have to look at a separate sheet of paper. You're going to have to look up the symbols to remind yourself what they do, which is definitely going to make it hard to teach to new people. So, I'm not a fan of that. I mean, it works, right? It works for a game on your phone where you can just sort of click on the symbol and it pops up and tells you what it does, because it's basically just, the information is there, it's just hidden. But when you're playing a game one-on-one and you have to go elsewhere to find that information, it becomes a hindrance. On top of that, they have some weird things like the hero cards. I don't like that all these cards have different colored backs. They have a legacy part down here where you can change some of the cards and add stickers to them to make them your own. That's kind of cool. But overall, people are not necessarily liking this game. It originally came out in 2020. Now it's 2021. They're giving us the deluxe edition. It's on Tabletop Simulator, so if you really want to check it out, you can check it out there. But that is Clash of Deck. Next up, we have the Fearless Franco relaunch, which is going to be one of the sad stories of the week. Maybe one of the sad stories of the year so far, going from, even though we're only in February. This is the relaunched campaign for Fearless Franco, and it's not even raised 400 backers, or $400. Only 8 backers and 22 days to go. It sucks to pull a campaign down, relaunch it later, figure out what went wrong, and then still have it do so terribly. Now, I think there are a couple reasons for that, but overall, the game doesn't look half bad. Looks like a game that I could see in like a Target shelf, right? Or see at Walmart, if it had different art, which I think is going to be one of the main things that has this game going against this game. Now, in this, you're going to be building up your deck. You're going to have cards for mechanics and doctors and your girlfriend and all these different cards that will influence how you do. Then you're going to flick yourself, whether you're doing a car or a motorcycle or even a rocket ship. Whatever you're trying to jump, you're going to flick it and try to land in this good area. Now, the further out you go, the worse points you get. You're going to have dice that you got to roll that goes with it. There's a lot here that could be good, but this art looks like somebody watched Adult Swim and thought, hey, let's make a board game out of that. Again, nothing wrong with that, but imagine if they would have themed this more around that Evel Knievel type character who was maybe a little more kid friendly, then this is a game that I could see families playing together. But as is, this isn't even a game that I would pull out with necessarily many friends based on the art, based off the aesthetic appeal that they're going for. Just, I mean, look, the girlfriend's cards, it's got the baby carrier and all the cigarettes and the lighter, the lipstick. I get it. I do. It's not for me. It's obviously not for a lot of people because it's not doing too well. Just a complete re-theme around this game could do wonders. But if you are interested in it and think that it might end up being back, then you can get it for $40. And they actually have an estimated delivery of June of this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if they've already had some copies made with the first go around. But overall, that's Fearless Franco, the sad story of the year. Next up, we have Wingspan, the ripoff. Bandada. Bandada? Bandada. I don't even know how you say that. However it is, it's already reached its goal, 267 backers. I mean, people are picking up on this primarily because it's cheap. You can get a production copy, a regular copy for $15. Not bad. But again, it sort of tries to just sort of pick itself up off of Wingspan and say, hey, maybe here's a mini Wingspan that you can play. And I don't really think that the game itself is any better for that. So in this game, what you're going to do is roll your dice, and then you're going to select from cards. And these cards are going to allow you to change your dice in some way. In this example, this middle card that they choose allows you to re-roll 2 yellow dice. And whichever card you pick is the one that you're trying to get whatever it says on the bottom. So in this case, it says you get 1 point per yellow dice that is under the number 4. So here we have the 1, 2, 3, and 3. All 4 of them are going to score you points, as we see down here. Now, if we would have picked this one over here, give 1 blue +1, and give 1 yellow -1, then you score 1 per black that is 4+. So now I have 1 black here, the 6. I would score 1 there and make other people possibly lose dice or lose things. I don't know. But basically, you're rolling some dice, changing them, and seeing how many you score. Pretty simple, pretty basic, and just trying to get a little bit of hype, I guess, based off of the birds, based off of the Wingspan brand, even down to using the little Wingspan symbol that they have. So, I mean, if it seems like a okay little game that you could take and play by yourself, but again, there's other better ones. So that's Bandada, and next up we have another game not doing good, Fish and Chips, which is a swashbuckling card game. Pirate-themed, quick combat, and hand management game for up to 6 players. It is not even halfway to its goal. It's got 150 backers and 24 days to go. I'm not really sure where this game went wrong, but it looks like it could be pretty fun. It plays very quickly, 10 to 25 minutes, according to this, and you're basically going to have a handful of cards trying to just why is it not loading? Well, my how to play is not loading, but basically you're going to be playing these different pirate type people, and you're trying to get treasure, trying to get different things. Overall, you really probably don't have to pay a lot of attention to this game, because as much as I wouldn't mind it succeeding, it doesn't look like it's even going to reach its goal. Fish and Chips, I wouldn't be surprised if you see this on here again next year, if they pull it off, cancel it, and do a relaunch later on. So be on the lookout for that. Didn't really explain what it is, but my computers being whack. Next up, we have Kingdom Rush Elemental Uprising. Again, my computer's being whack and was not loading the game found page. If you want to know more about this game, then look right up top and you will see that I have linked my Should You Back It for the Kingdom Rush Elemental Uprising game. It'll give you a little bit of an overview of the campaign and let you know who I think this game is for, who should back it, and who it's not for, who shouldn't back it. So go ahead and give that a look. And Kingdom Rush Elemental, again, it's on Game Found, so if you're looking for it, do not go to Kickstarter. You will not find it. Next up, the big daddy of the week, we have the Forest of Radgost, which is doing very well. It's raised 186,000, over 1,700 backers and 16 days to go. Now, the Forest of Radgost is going to be a storytelling game. You are going to, you scroll down here to the main screen, you're going to have this ginormous board, and your goal is that there are two children who ran into this forest that you are trying to find and bring home over the course of 3 days. A day being day and night. They have a time counter here that lets you know here is the daytime, the nightfall, and the night. And so, again, your goal is to get these children and bring them home in the course of 3 days. And as you do so, you're going to be encountering all sorts of different creatures and monsters in the Slavic mythology. So this is going to be a very heavy story game based in Slavic mythology in the Forest of Radgost. And Radgost is the god of this forest. He is the god that does not want you there, and therefore is most likely your enemy. Now, in this game, you're going to actually be rolling dice. Scroll down here. So these are the children that you're trying to find, and these are who you're playing as. And in the forest, you will be rolling dice to see how far you can move, which a lot of reviewers have pointed out is not necessarily what you want in a game these days, right? Roll to move games are often pushed to the side, but some of those reviewers have said that it actually moves and works in this game because there are going to be ways to upgrade and enhance what you can move. So as you go throughout, you're going to be flipping over these tiles as you reach them and seeing who you encounter. Are you going to encounter this nice little old lady or one of these many other miniatures? And the miniatures here do look very good. I mean, they are very well put together and do look aesthetically pleasing on the board. Now, there are going to be 2 versions of this game. The first version is going to cost $64 and does not come with miniatures. That $64 pledge is going to come with standees only. If you want the miniatures, then you want the oak pledge at $99. The 100 and... is that right? Yes. The $130 level gives you the additional things as well, such as the Dashbog miniature, the marble textured dice, the fox leather forest dice cup, the extras, right? So again, as you go throughout this game, you're going to be reading through this book of encounters, seeing how this story plays out. Another thing of note, that if you watch the King of Average's video on this, his review on this, which I will link below, then go ahead and see how big this game actually is on the table. This game is humongous. The board is huge. You have 9 decks of cards that you need out because you never know when you're going to need to use them. And that is a hindrance to this game. Be sure to check out his video. He goes way more in depth in this game. He had a preview copy. He was able to play it. Check it out. So be sure to see what he says about this. So, next up for anybody who's interested, we have the One Ring role-playing game 2nd edition. As you can see, people are buying this like crazy. 7,000 backers, $850,000 raised. I'm not going to go in depth in this, but just know that if you are interested in it, it is on Kickstarter right now, and it'll cost, what is it, $60 for the hardcore, or yeah, the hardcover edition. And yeah, they give you quite a bit of information. This is, again, a 2nd edition of the game, so it's been out for a while. It's something people have loved, the quintessential edition of Lord of the Rings role-playing game. They do say here, though, that if you are interested in the 5th edition, that they are working on a new rule set, so be sure to look for that in the future. I'm not going to go too in-depth in this, but just wanted to make you aware of it in case you like role-playing games and you have a group that loves Lord of the Rings. Now is the time to pick it up. So that's what we have this week. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining me here at Boardscape. And let me know, what are you interested in? What are you picking up? Leave a comment below, and while you're down there, go ahead and subscribe. Make sure to check out the Patreon, and be sure to keep coming back here, because I will be having some videos coming up soon on where this channel is headed, as well as more Kickstarter related news. Thank you, and as always, game on.